Unit 6, Lesson 1, Activity 2, Build with Unit Fractions. In your journal, write the fraction 1 over d. D in this case stands for denominator. Now, look at your fraction strips and think about what the bottom number of the fraction. What do you see? Here's a few examples. If I look at the bottom number, the bottom number is the number of equal folded parts. If I were to take my 1/6 strip and fold it accordion style, so I've taken it from here and I fold it accordion style, so one on top of the other, back and forth. Again, what does the bottom number mean? The one whole strip has a total of 6 parts. We call a single part of an equally divided whole a unit fraction. So a unit fraction is a single part of an equally divided whole. So I've taken my one whole and I have divided it equally into single parts. This is now called a unit fraction. Take your 1/6 strip and open out 2 of the folded parts. So I have 1, 2. We'll start from the back so that I get my 1, 2. What fraction would best describe 2 parts of 6? Two parts of 6 will be considered 2/6. How many unit fractions are in 2/6? We have 1, 2. So to get my answer for the sum of unit fractions, 2/6 equals 1/6 plus 1/6. Because 1/6 plus 1/6 gives me 2/6. If I were to take 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, now how many unit fractions do I have? 1, 2, 3. So 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 3/6. Show me what 4/6 would look like in an addition equation. If you said 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, you would be correct that that is 4/6. Notice how 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2/6. That the sum of two copies of 1/6. How could I show this sum as a multiplication problem? I could do 2 times 1/6. Go ahead and write the multiplication problem for 3/6 and 4/6. You should have written 3 times 1/6. These are all equivalent. They all mean the same thing. And we have 4 times 1/6. Now let's look at the fraction n over d. If you remember before, I told you that the d stands for denominator. But what did the n stand for? The n stands for the numerator, the part of the fraction that we call the numerator. The numerator stands for the number of unit fractions. The denominator is the number of equal parts from a whole. So the numerator will be my number of unit fractions, and my denominator will be the number of equal parts from this one whole that we started with. So go ahead and look at page 195 in your books. We're given the definition of a unit fraction represents one equal part of a whole. A unit fraction has a numerator of 1. The unit fraction 1d, 1 over d, is one of d equal parts. The fraction bar below is divided into 6 equal parts, or sixths. Each part is one of 6 equal parts, or 1/6. Here's our vocabulary words. A fraction is the sum of unit fractions. The fraction n over d is the sum of n copies of 1 over d. Numerator is the number of unit fractions in the fraction, and the denominator is the number of equal parts in the whole. The fraction 5/6 is the sum of 5/6. 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 5/6. And I can write that in a multiplication problem, 5 times 1/6. You can also see on the line below how they took a whole line of 1/6 and they circled 5 of them. So I have 5/6. Fold your fraction strips to show each sum of unit fractions. Write the fraction each sum represents. So I need to find my thirds. So I have 1/3 plus 1/3. I'm going to cover up this one. How many units do I have? 1, 2. So my unit fractions are 2/3. I make sure that my fraction is above the line. Now I'm going to take my 1/4. Again, I'm adding 1/4 plus 1/4. So I'm going to cover up those two. You can accordion style them as well. How many unit fractions do I have? 1, 2. So 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, or 2/4. Number 2, find my one that's 1/8. I have 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is 5/8, or 5/8. For my 1/6, I have 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. Cover up those. How many did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 4/6, or 4/6. Go ahead and do 5, 6, and 7 on your own. Now let's look at your answers for number 5 should be 6/12, 8/12, and 7/8. Go ahead and turn to page 196. Looking up at number 8 in your book, look at the fraction bars pictured there. There are bars for fifths and sevenths, ninths, tenths, and 11ths, and we did not make those folded strips for these fractions. There's 11, there's 10, there's 9, there's 7, there's 5. We did not make strips for these fractions. Use the space provided below exercise 8 to write down your ideas about patterns and relationships that you see in the fraction bars below. Go ahead and do this now. Go ahead and turn to page 197. Sums of unit fractions. It says shade the fraction bar to show each fraction. Then write the fraction as a sum of unit fractions and as a product of a whole number and a unit fraction. The first one is done for you. 3/4 was 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. They shaded in 3 of them. And the multiplication is 3 times 1/4. Go ahead and complete 10 through 14 on your own. Go ahead and turn the page to page 198. Fractions as part of a whole. John made a large sandwich for the 6 people in his family. He asked his father to help him cut it into 6 equal pieces. To do this, they made a paper cutting guide that is as long as the sandwich. John folded the paper into 6 equal parts, and his father used it to cut the sandwich into equal pieces. Question number 15. Solve. If each person ate 1 piece of the sandwich, what fraction of the sandwich did each person eat? Fold your 6-part fraction strip to show the fraction of the whole sandwich that each person ate. So if I take my fraction strip, each person ate 1 piece, or 1 of my unit fractions. So each person ate 1/6. Question number 16. How many pieces of the whole sandwich did John's mother and father eat all together? Fold your fraction strip to show the fraction of the whole sandwich John's mother and father ate in all. Well, if each person ate 1/6, that means that John's mother ate 1/6 and John's father ate 1/6. So how many pieces of the whole sandwich did John's mother and father eat all together? They ate 2 pieces. Number 17. After John's mother and father got their pieces, what fraction of the sandwich was left? Well, if I know that John's mother and father ate 2 pieces, if I fold out my 6th strip, I see after what 2 pieces what's left. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is 4/6, or 4/6. John and each of his sisters were each able to have 1 piece of the remaining sandwich. How many sisters does John have? Using my fraction strip, I know mother and father ate 2. John is going to eat 1, so that leaves me with 1, 2, 3. So how many sisters does John have? John has 3 sisters. Question 19, go ahead and answer it on your own. This is the end of Unit 6, Lesson 1, Activity 2.